Hey, Karita Griffith Walker here, out here talking to all these dance educators who are looking to teach with more confidence, more effectiveness, more ease, and more joy and vitality, right? I know we all need that so much. Today, we are looking at this idea of staying true to the roots of the form that we're teaching. How can we do that while accomplishing maybe another goal or two, right? I know we have so many objectives for our classes. And so the idea that we can kill two birds with one stone, I got a way for us to do that today. And that way is to create and foster community inside of the dance class, as well as in the greater dance setting in which you teach. So it's whether you're in a university setting, conservatory setting, dance studio, whatever you got, like creating that sense of community, right? I think that this is a huge and important topic because, one, we do, for all the people out there that are looking for ways to create more equity and inclusivity in a dance setting, in a dance class, this is one way to do it. It's a way to show and demonstrate real respect for the origins of dance forms that originated in these kind of social community environments, hip hop, tap dance, blues dance, etc. And then there's this extra bonus, like double win kind of thing of student retention. Creating a community and a sense of connection amongst the students is one of those lovely things that keeps students coming back to class, right? There's a million and one reasons why people should come to your class as opposed to like learning how to dance from a YouTube channel. And one of those big reasons is community, right? And if we are fostering that, then it really brings a different kind of life and dynamic to our classes that makes our classes unique and special. Right? Just as kind of a contrasting story, I can tell you that when Naya turned 3, we, this is a while ago now, we were looking for, little places to put her into a dance class or like get her started. And she had done a superhero dance camp at a friend of mine's studio. Shout out to Innovative Dance. But we were looking for something a little closer to home for a weekly class, and so we found a community center class. There was a pre-ballet that was open, so I thought we would try that and see, what the community center was offering. It wasn't a cheap class, not for nothing. For a community center class, you would think that like, oh, that'll be cheaper than the studio, but it wasn't. So then I started to get a little like, well, let's see how good this is. Like I started to get a little like judgy about it, for lack of a better, like, I'm a dance educator. Like, let me see, what they do. Especially because I've worked at some dance studios where they have really high level pre ballet, where they're really teaching from 3, 4, 5. Like you're seeing legit technique develop from the very beginning. So I was like, well, since they're charging kind of like top dollar, like let me see if they're bringing like top level type stuff, right? And so this particular class, we were able to, the teacher let us sit in every week. We would just sit in the corner and I was just trying to keep Simone off the dance floor. That was like my main job, was like sweating, trying to keep Simone off the dance floor and trying to keep her out of all the props, the younger sister, so that Naya could do her class. But one thing that I started to notice by like week 3 or week 4, and it was just like a 4-week session, um, was that every week the teacher would come in and there would be like a piece of tape on the floor. And the like one of the main kind of stances of class was, okay, students, stand on the tape and face me. Stand on the tape, everybody, and face me. Everyone stand on the tape and face me. It wasn't a huge class, like 5 students, so it wasn't a major thing. But it was like stand on this and face me. Then they'd go through like a little obstacle course of things, do a little one at a time. But then it was back to the tape, face me. And one day, they were watching other students do the one at a time. My daughter gets a little excited and starts to talk to the little girl next to her, and she gets reprimanded for talking. Like, don't talk to her, don't talk to her, Naya. And I was a little like salty. I didn't love that. I didn't say anything because I also thought, well, there's a few things that I thought about that class. Don't get me started. But one of the things that I realized is that there were no opportunities for socialization in this preschool ballet class. Now you might think, okay, well the roots of ballet are very formal. There's no talking. So in that sense, it's true to that culture, but like face the teacher and all that. I was like, it's very teacher centered, like look at me, follow me, look at me. But never at one point in 4 weeks did they sit on the floor and face each other, like say their names or like, you know, whatever. If they did any talking like that, it was talking to the teacher. It wasn't them like looking at each other, like giggling, like looking at each other and talking to each other. It was them talking to the teacher. My favorite pizza topping is this, like, as they're doing their little thing. Right. The color of my butterfly wings, they like do the legs, the color of my butterfly wings is this. They did those, all that interaction was with the teacher and it wasn't with the other students. And I was a little kind of like, that's weird. I just thought it was weird. Again, not for a ballet class in terms of staying true to the form, but as far as a preschool dance class of any style, most of us mamas are sending our kids there for some kind of socialization. My students, sorry, my daughters learn a lot from watching YouTube. Misty Copeland, they like twirl around and watch Misty Copeland or any other little exercises and stuff that they do online. There's that stuff at home. So I'm like, what is the point of coming here if there's no socialization? This is a preschool dance class, right? Regardless of style. And so for me, it just felt a little off that there wasn't this sense of community that was being fostered in the class to where my child was excited about seeing this kid or seeing this kid or seeing this kid because there were no connections being made. There were no connections being made. And that just felt a little funky, right? Now, I can tell you, like, I have a couple of programs that I run with dance educators. One is my Roots Rhythm Race and Dance program, and the other is my Tap Teachers Lounge program, which is an online tap teacher training for tap dance teachers, mostly in studio setting. And anytime I run my programs, I'm running the R3D program right now, I have Zoom sessions where we just chat it up. Like, I want everybody to be getting to know each other. I want people connecting. So it's not just like learn all this content that I've put together, and I've put together a lot of content. I've put together a lot of things, but part of the learning is connecting with other people, bouncing ideas off of other people. So even for me working with dance educators, I know how much we work in isolation. We work in isolation a lot, right? We can jump in a Facebook group and whatever and like chat, but when we're in the studio, it's usually just us as the teacher. We're in the room with other people, we're on Zoom with other people, but we're the only teacher in there. And so this is these opportunities that I've created inside my training programs where dance educators can really connect with each other, bounce ideas off each other. I'm not the only person in the world with good ideas, right? So it's not just about talking to me and everybody look at me, but it's like, let's connect with each other and let's get other educators connected with each other. And that's been this amazing, amazing benefit. And so when I think about this, getting back into the dance class, I would love for you to be asking yourself these kinds of questions. Like, what am I fostering? How am I fostering community inside of my dance classes tangibly, right? Tangibly. I gave you an opposite example of like everybody in the line face me, not really fostering community in the class, right? How am I fostering community in a class? Now I'm trying to stay true to the roots of hip hop. Where did hip hop originate? Right? Parties, street corners, right? Swing dance, tap dance, right? We're talking about on plantations, right? Sharecropping, that are like all these different kinds of environments, but community forms. So, how am I as an educator keeping that energy alive inside of my classes? How am I doing that? How am I creating a culture of encouragement and celebration in my classes? How am I doing that? So I would love for you to take those couple of questions and like really chew on these a little bit. How am I creating that spirit of community and a tangible community energy in my dance classes, in my studio setting? And how am I fostering a culture of encouragement and celebration? Because like a little competitiveness is fun, right? It's like there's nothing wrong with a little cutting contest, but there's also this like, hey, like when somebody else is getting something, you want to connect with that. That goes back to West African culture. If you go watch a video of people dancing in Guinea right now, if somebody jumps out into the middle of a cipher and a circle and solos, like other people jump in with it. Like there's all this energy goes way, way back. And there's certainly in the tradition of Black dance forms, but in so many cultures around the world. But as we have formalized dance education, we have gotten away from that a little bit, right? So we're in the studio setting. All of a sudden, we're at a ballet bar. We don't know why. All of a sudden, it's very, teacher oriented. Everybody face front. I know that I've done a lot of that. And then we can maybe get into this kind of a culture where the dance form becomes all about me as the teacher or the stage, like the show. And the challenge of that is that it's limiting, right? And I'm saying this as a person who loves to perform, right? That's my jam. I love to get up on stage and present for people. But it's only one aspect of what we do, right? The origins of it are in this other kind of connection. And that, can feel really great. It can feel really challenging for some students. It can feel really fulfilling for other students. But again, this is a place where we don't want to miss that opportunity, right? To give them something greater than how to ball change, right? We want to give more than that. And not only can we teach about, dance history or teach about technique, but we can exemplify it and embody it in our pedagogy, right? That's something that we work on in the Roots Rhythm Race and Dance program. When we get to week 5, we're not just like, okay, we've talked about all these different ways to deliver dance history lessons in ways that are age appropriate and all that. But now it's like, let's look at the full picture. Are we really in alignment with everything else that we're doing? Are we teaching an historically Black dance form using European metrics, European standards, European codification? Right. So there's all these other kind of things that go with that. So again, I want you to ask yourself these questions when it comes to staying true to the roots of the dance form. Certainly with Black dance forms, by keeping the spirit of community in your classes. Think about the tangible ways in which you are fostering a sense of community in your classes, tangible way, and think about the ways that you as a teacher are fostering a spirit of encouragement, right, and celebration in your classes, so that people have that sense of upliftment, not just from you as the teacher, but feel uplifted by other people in the class, because sometimes that peer upliftment is better than anything we can ever say, right? But when you have a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old get complimented, get lifted up by another 10 or 11-year-old, like that sometimes means more, right? That's even more uplifting than it like coming from the teacher who's like supposed to be nice or whatever. But when you get that culture of encouragement going amongst the students, that's one of those things that people come back for, right? That's one of those reasons that people come back to your class, to the community that you've created, to the kind of culture that you've created. People want to be in your circle because you have fostered this amazing, amazing sense of community. And of course, you are thinking in this 2021 way about sticking true to the roots of dance forms, right? And teaching them with integrity, right? These are the things that we can be doing. If you are looking for a broader starter guide. If you're thinking about these things, like how can I foster more equity and inclusivity in my classes, stay true to the roots of the form, or any of those kinds of things, I invite you to check out a starter guide that I have, all about examining your dance environment and looking at matters of race and culture in your dance environment. If that's something you are interested in, and like, yeah, I want to dig my teeth into that, I have a lovely little starter guide that I invite you to check out. You can do that by going to karitagriffith.com/start. That is karitagriffith.com/start to check out my starter guide, right? Can spark these ideas and really put more teeth to how to bring this stuff to life in your dance form. So I gave you some broad strokes here, but if you really want to dig into that a little bit more, I've got like a little video training, a little PDF put together just for you. So you can grab that at karitagriffith.com/start. All right, I am Karita Griffith Walker. Here's to a wonderful week of teaching dance, of fulfilling yourself as an educator, as a human being, all that good stuff. And till next time, have a great one.